Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and welcome to PlayLoad. This is all my video game pickups for the month of June 2016. Well, almost all of my pickups. I went to Too Many Games in Philadelphia, which I picked up a bunch of stuff there, which will get its own video. I didn't include that in this one. I just got the stuff. This is just the stuff that I got before that, and I kind of kept it a little more modest this month just because I knew I was going to the convention, so I wanted to make sure I had extra spending money for that purpose. This is mostly new releases, not that much retro stuff, but there is a little bit in here, so I will show you what I got. First up, I got Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition for the Xbox One. I was really excited about this because that was actually a pretty cool game that they only released digitally originally for the Xbox One like last year, 2015. I think it was summer 2015. And then it kind of silently got a physical release. Like, they didn't put much advertising in this. This was before E3, but they didn't mention at all at E3 that they had this new exclusive physical release. I'm not really sure why. Cheap game too. I think it was only 20 bucks, plus with Best Buy's Gamers Club Unlocked, you get 20% off, so it was around like $15 in the end. So a pretty good deal on that, so very happy to pick that up. Now, got a bunch of Wii U games. This was June, let us say it now, June 2016 was probably the best month the Wii U had left in its lifetime, with, I believe it was a total of 7 releases. Now, I have 5 of them. 2 of them I did not get because I will get them later. They're games that I feel will be much more easily obtained. Those games being that Tokyo FE thing, whatever that is. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the game offhand. And then Mario and Sonic at like the Rio Olympics. Both of those will be easier to find. I'm not too worried about those. I went with the smaller games for the most part that I thought would potentially be harder to track down later because, as a lot of you know, I want to get a full Wii U set. And believe it or not, I'm mostly done with that. So there are ones I'm missing, but when it comes to the newer stuff, I try to get it right away unless I know it'll be common later, and those are 2 that I think will be easier to obtain later. First up, the Book of Unwritten Tales 2. This came out on the PS4, Xbox One, PC, etc. quite a while ago. It's very strange that it got a Wii U release now. Or at all. You know, the fact that it got one is odd, and the fact that it got one so much later is even more strange. It was a $20 game, again, with, but this one was only sold, this was not sold at Best Buy, this was sold at Amazon. Amazon, if you're a Prime member, is now doing, they're kind of trying to match Best Buy's Gamers Club Unlocked thing by giving you 20% off, but it only applies to pre-orders and games sold within the first week, and then after that they charge you full price. So it's not as good as Best Buy's, but it's still cool that they are doing that. So again, ended up getting this for like 15, so that was nice. But it'll probably be a harder one to find later if you're a Wii U collector, just because only sold at a handful of retailers, very late Wii U release, and a very strange and probably not particularly successful release. But nevertheless, there it is. This is kind of in the same vein. Terraria. Now this was sold at Best Buy. It was more expensive at the base price. I think the base price was $30, plus again, you know, you get the 20% off, etc., etc. This game came out on everything under the sun already. I don't know why it got a physical Wii U release all of a sudden, but it did, and I was happy to add it to the collection. It's actually a pretty cool game, but there you go. This one is not. This was an indie game at one point, and now is definitely not. Minecraft Wii U edition. It's not so much that I thought that this game would be rare, because obviously it's Minecraft, it's not going to be. It's just that the base price was actually pretty good. It was $30, again, plus 20% off. You know, it's like, just do it and get it out of the way, because you're not going to get it much cheaper than that on the used market anyway, at least not for quite some time, so just get it out of the way. So, there you go. Oh, the cool thing about this one, though, is that it includes Super Mario characters in it, which is exclusive to the Wii U version. Which makes sense. It's kind of funny, when this game first was coming to the Wii U in digital form, Nintendo made a big deal about it, like they had some new exclusive insane game, and it was just Minecraft. And then they kept saying like there was no physical release that was happening, etc. I remember going to a Target, and Target had, for some reason, had struck up some sort of deal with Nintendo, where every Target would have a Nintendo employee, or someone pretending to be a Nintendo employee, perhaps a local person who was hired by Nintendo, whatever. They would go into Targets. This was a nationwide thing that they did. They would just go into the Wii U section at Targets, and anybody who comes up to them or they're within the area of, they would talk to them about how Minecraft was coming to the Wii U. And I remember they did that. And I kept thinking, like, you're in a Target, a place where people are buying physical games, to tell them that this game will only be available digitally. Like, he said that to me. Like, the guy told me, like, because I was like, oh, you know, I'll get it if it's physical. He's like, oh, it'll never be physical. Just get it digitally. I'm just thinking, like, why are you here? Why are you in a retail store telling people to buy stuff digitally? It just made no sense to me. And ultimately, I got my wish because it is physical now. So, awesome. This one, mixed feelings, of course. Mighty Number 9. I really wanted this, like everybody else did, and I wanted a Wii U version because it just felt like it would make more sense. It would be more at home on the Wii U, etc. Sadly, this game is, it's kind of surprising that it even ended up on the Wii U at all. I mean, it's probably just because they promised that it would be. It's probably like the last, well, maybe not the last, but one of the last like big third-party releases for the Wii U, I would guess. And unfortunately, the Wii U version is incredibly buggy. It has a lot of crashes that it causes to the console, which is not that surprising considering I bet, you know, they kind of decided not to put that many resources into the Wii U version when the Wii U started floundering. So I hope they at least patch it so that it's more stable, but yeah, there it is. And Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. I love the Lego games, dude. I fucking love these games. I think they're fantastic. And WB Games, who makes the Lego stuff, is probably the most bountiful third-party supporter for the Wii U. I mean, like, every Lego game ends up on the Wii U, which is very, very cool. And as much as I love these games, as much as I love the Wii U, I'm probably not going to play that version. I'm going to play this version, Lego Star Wars again, for the PS4. If you're wondering why I bought both, well, like I said, I really like these games. Obviously collecting for the Wii U, but I'd rather play it on the PS4. Now, I actually got the deluxe edition of the PS4, so it includes like the season pass and all that stuff. But the thing that pushed me over the edge, though, was that Best Buy, again, Gamers Club Unlocked, so you got 20% off, but they were also giving you an extra $10 in reward certificates for each pre-order, so they basically gave me $20 back on these, so that was a pretty good deal. And then they included like some bonus DLC, I think they like the Empire Strikes Back pass or something like that, or maybe I'm misremembering that, but I do remember that kind of being a thing. And they, God, I don't even remember what I was going to say. Point is, I got these for cheap enough that I was happy about it. Oh, they included a couple of like Lego toys, like Kylo Ren's like Star Destroyer. I didn't really care about that, but nevertheless, whatever, it was cool. So yeah, that's why I got both versions of these. This one is the one I'll actually play. And now, talking about double dipping on other platforms, Mighty Number 9 for PS4. This was purely an accident. There was a brief time there when Mighty Number 9 was available for pre-order, when everybody was super excited about it, where it didn't seem like the Wii U version was going to be physical. Since the PS4 is my console of choice this generation, I decided to pre-order it for the PS4. When the Wii U version was announced, I ended up pre-ordering it for the Wii U, and I simply forgot that I had ever pre-ordered it for the PS4. It was not until it was shipped that I was like, oh, fuck, that's right, I pre-ordered it for the PS4. So I would have returned it, but since the Wii U version apparently is very buggy, I thought, well, it's already here, you know, fuck it. Cool thing about it, I guess, is that it has a cross-buy version, so you get a free digital version for the PS Vita and for PS3. I'm not going to play those, but it's cool that they include that. For the PS4, Dead Island Definitive Collection. I did not buy this. Deep Silver sent a bunch of promo copies of this game to me and to my, well, basically my other channel, Game Society Pimps, as giveaway prizes. I just got to keep one. And the same thing with this game, Tales from the Borderlands, 2K, same exact deal. They sent us a bunch of free copies as giveaway promo items, and I got to keep one. So thank you to Deep Silver, and thank you to 2K. Now, a little bit of retro stuff here, some OG Xbox. I got Fuzion Frenzy, which is a super common game. It's a party game that's actually pretty good, and for the longest time I thought I had it. It wasn't until recently I realized I didn't, and I was like, oh shit. So I picked it up, because it's like, it's almost as common as sports games and pretty much just as valuable, so I added it to the collection. SpongeBob Squarepants movie, nothing special there. This one's kind of cool just because of the release, the way it was released. Ratatouille for the original Xbox. This is a North American exclusive, was not released in Europe, and it was a very late original Xbox release. The movie came out in 2007. Well, if you remember, the console was essentially essentially discontinued in 2005. So for this to have actually come out on the original Xbox is incredibly surprising. On top of that, it was a GameStop exclusive. And it says it all over there. It was only released by GameStop. And in fact, I get the feeling that that's probably the only reason there was even an Xbox version at all, is that GameStop was in the market to have some sort of exclusive release at the time. So there you go. As a result, it's one of the far less common games on the console, but at the same time, not valuable. It's OG Xbox. Even rare, stupid exclusives, regional exclusives from one store still can't be valuable, at least not right now. One day, who knows, this could be insanely expensive, but for now, not. This one is, however, going up. Test Drive Eve of Destruction. There were 3 Test Drive games on the original Xbox. This is now the most rare one, and this one is actually shooting up there. We're getting into like the 50-60 range, which is extremely uncommon for an original Xbox game. I got it for much less than that, but you know, that was nice. It's actually a pretty good game too. It's just like a car crashing like game. It's fucking cool. But there you go. And finally, this one I didn't exactly get this month, but I kind of did at the same time. For the GameCube, Kirby Airride. Technically I bought this last month. I bought this in May, and when I was coming back from Canada with my buddy Scott, the Canadian, and Pete Diak, we drove through Michigan, or not Michigan, sorry, Indiana. We went through, well, technically we were in Michigan for a little bit, and then we were in Ohio, and then we were in Indiana. And while we were in Indiana, we stopped at a store, and they had this, and it was only $30. And for this game, that's a good deal. Generally, this game is about the $40 range, and often is the player's choice version, which is like, it's like eye cancer. I can't look at this shit. Or it's missing the manual, whatever. But this was like the perfect combo. It was in pretty good shape, you know, and everything. It wasn't the stupid platinum hits, not platinum. It's a player's choice version, etc. So I picked it up, and then I realized when I got home why it was so cheap for this game. The disc was heavily damaged. It's kind of amazing they were even selling it. And so it wouldn't work, and I was like, fuck. But so I went to a buddy of mine who has one of those like $3,000 disc cleaner things, and I asked him if he'd clean it, and he said sure. And then after he did, it worked flawlessly. I was able to rip the data, so the game was recovered and is now part of the collection, which is fantastic. So that's the end of the stuff I bought, but there's 2 little surprises here. First, you don't see it on the table, but I shot some footage already. Do you guys remember the Sega Dreamcast GDM? I did a video on it a while back. It's basically like an EverDrive for the Dreamcast. You take the GD-ROM out of the console and you install this little board that has an SD card slot on it, and then you put ISOs of Dreamcast games on that SD card, and then the Dreamcast plays them through that. It's pretty cool. Again, you can check out the whole video on it. Problem with it, though, was that the Dreamcast was obviously not designed to host this little board. It was designed to host a bigger piece of plastic and metal. So aesthetically, when you have the GDMU in there, it doesn't look very good. It's just functional. Well, I got a message from somebody who showed me this thing. Somebody who, like, I guess specializes in 3D printers, had decided to make a plastic mold that you could put in the Dreamcast in that space to also hold the GDMU so it would be more aesthetically pleasing. And I thought, oh, that's cool as shit. So you basically could just download the mold and then build it with a 3D printer. Of course, I don't have a 3D printer, but I did know a guy who had one. We got a fan on my other channel, I don't know what the hell I was saying there, on my other channel, Game Society Pimps, who has a 3D printer. He's actually made up stuff for us before and shipped it off to us. So I messaged him and I was just like, hey, Brian, that's his name. I'm not going to give his full name because he didn't want that. But Brian, I was like, yeah, could you, would it be too much trouble? Could you print this out and send it my way if that's all right with you? He was like, absolutely, I love using it, because he doesn't get to use the thing for that much, so he was really excited. So he made the thing up and he shipped it off to me, and I installed it, and it's really cool. So it's just a nice little, thing to kind of make that Dreamcast look a little better. And it has like a little extra slots in it for extra SD cards. They're not functional because it's just little pieces of plastic to hold them there, but like you could, just keep extra cards in there if you wanted to, which is really cool. So that's that. Thank you to Brian for doing that. Now, I also have a package I'm going to open up here. Funny thing about this package, first of all, I'm going to attempt to pronounce the name of the person who sent this to me. He's French-Canadian, and I cannot, for the life of me, pronounce his name. I'm sorry, I'm just an ignorant, stupid American. I don't know how to say your name. But he said it was okay if I attempt to butcher it, so we can all laugh at my incompetence here. His name, Guillaume Barube Thoin. I tried. You can laugh, feel free. But anyway, so he contacted me months ago. And he was just like, hey Adam, I got this game, I bought a couple copies, and I have an extra one. I thought I was going to need it, I don't, I'll hook you up. And I was like, you know, you really don't have to do that. And he was like, no, I really want to do that. And then I asked him where he was from and stuff, and he said, you know, he said Quebec in Canada. And I was just like, look, if you're insistent on this, at least send it to my buddy Scott the Canadian. That way you don't have to pay international shipping, you know, etc. Because I go up to Canada often enough that I was going to be able to just pick it up the next time I was there. And that's exactly what we did. So it was shipped to my buddy Scott, and he held on to it for a couple of months. And then I got it last May when I was up there, brought it back, and I didn't have time to include it on the previous PlayLoad because I had to shoot that before I left for Canada. So once I got back here, this package just sat here for a whole nother month. So I still to this point while I'm shooting this video, I don't know what this is, other than it's apparently a PS4 game. That much I do know. So I will open it up and we will find out together, finally. So here we go. Flip it here. I hope I don't need scissors because that would really suck. Yeah. Alright, maybe I do, maybe I don't know. It's ripping. I got it. I swear. Okay. Ah! Saturday Morning RPG for the PlayStation 4. I don't know a whole lot about this. I think this was through, I think there's some game service called like Limited Games or something like that, and they do game releases every once in a while. That's what I've been told a couple of times. I haven't done much with them. I'm sorry, I obviously didn't know what it was, so I couldn't do any research beforehand. It says, yeah, it says Limited Run, number 2 on the back, Limited Run Games, so I'm guessing they were the guys who released this. But yeah, Saturday Morning RPG. That's very, very cool. Thank you. Thank you too. I'm sorry. It's not that I can't remember your name, it's that I can't pronounce it. Guillaume. Sorry, I am so sorry. I'm sorry. But yes, nevertheless, thank you very much for Saturday Morning RPG. That was really cool of you. I can add that to the PS4 collection now. And thank you again to Brian for making that mold for the GDMU. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later.